Beijing offered a lengthy retort on Thursday after comments by Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who reaffirmed U.S. commitments to Taiwan's security and warned of a potential collective response if China were to use force against the island. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said China would never allow American interference in Taiwan, which it claims is part of its territory and therefore an internal affair. The U.S., which has unofficial but strong relations with Taipei, doesn't take a position on sovereignty over the island and considers its status undetermined. At a virtual forum hosted by the New York Times on Wednesday, Secretary Blinken said the U.S. stands strongly against anyone taking unilateral action to disrupt by force the status quo across the Taiwan Strait. The delicate balance has seen the now democratic island effectively govern itself for more than 7 decades, with Beijing exercising no jurisdiction over it. Blinken repeated long-standing commitments under the Taiwan Relations Act, or TRA, the 1979 legislation, supported by then-Senator Joe Biden, that says the U.S. must assist Taiwan in maintaining a sufficient self-defense capability in order to resist China. He said the TRA was part of the U.S.'s own One China policy, distinct from Beijing's One China principle, under which it claims Taiwan, and that America's role was to make sure the island has the means to defend itself. The U.S. and its allies would take action if China were to attack Taiwan, he added, without elaborating. Wang said Blinken's remarks showed a disregard for facts, taking particular issue with the TRA, which he described as an American domestic law that the U.S. had placed above international obligations. The spokesperson appeared to be referring to the U.S.-China 3 communiques, which Washington considers non-binding statements of policy intention. In a repeat of the same language used by another Chinese official on Wednesday, Wang called the TRA illegal and invalid. The first of the 3 communiques, issued in 1972, 1979, and 1982, included U.S. acknowledgement, but not recognition of China's position on Taiwan. The second established formal diplomatic relations between Washington and Beijing, while the third declared the U.S.'s intention to gradually reduce arms sales to Taiwan if China committed to a peaceful resolution to cross-strait differences. In 1982, the Reagan administration complemented the third communique by giving Taiwan the 6 assurances, which said, among other things, that the U.S. had not agreed to set a date for the end of arms sales, had not altered its position regarding sovereignty over Taiwan, and would not pressure Taiwan into negotiations with China. The Biden administration has reaffirmed that the U.S. One China policy is guided by the TRA, the 3 communiques, and the 6 assurances. The Chinese government, meanwhile, recognizes only one of these 3 elements. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said allied nations would be prepared to take action if China uses force against Taiwan, though he again refused to say whether the Biden administration would be prepared to use the U.S. military in such a conflict. There are many countries both in the region and beyond that would see any unilateral action to use force to disrupt the status quo as a significant threat to peace and security, Blinken said at the New York Times Dealbook Conference Wednesday. And they too would take action in the event that happened. Blinken was responding to a question about the extent of the U.S. commitment to Taiwan, which is self-governed but is claimed by China as part of its territory. President Joe Biden has sown confusion over the issue in recent weeks by saying the U.S. was prepared to defend Taiwan in the event of an attack, comments that appeared to go beyond previous U.S. commitments to make sure Taiwan can defend itself. The question has gained urgency amid rising U.S.-China tensions. China has ramped up military flights near Taiwan, flying more than 200 planes into the island's air defense identification zone in October, and some analysts have warned that President Xi Jinping may be preparing for an invasion in coming years. White House officials have said Biden's remarks don't reflect a change in policy, and interviewers have repeatedly pressed Blinken to clear up the discrepancy between Biden's seemingly more aggressive posture and past U.S. statements. Each time, Blinken has been careful to hew closely to the official line, and he did so again Wednesday. We stand strongly against anyone taking unilateral action to disrupt the status quo by force, and we have commitments, long-standing commitments under the Taiwan Relations Act to make sure that Taiwan has the ability to defend itself, Blinken said. Our role is to make sure that it has the means to defend itself, because if it does, that is the best deterrent against any very, very, very unfortunate action that might be contemplated.